To work on the foot and ankle, you want to go ahead and prep the tissue. The little claws of the Master Blaster as well as the Face Blaster are great for that. So don't put too much thought into this, you guys. It's literally just a nice, light scrub. And remember that the fascia is just below the skin. So this is a light and brisk movement, and we're just going to go ahead and 360 the lower leg quickly to prepare the tissue for more intense work. So you should be able to see some redness, which is great. So I'm gonna go ahead and move around to the inside and just keep it going light and brisk. And I do want to mention that I always want you to be aware, no matter what you're blasting, to be aware of your posture. Make sure you're not hunched over, and make sure you have your abdominals on. Make sure you keep your shoulders relaxed. Make sure that you work your muscle all the way from the origin to the insertion. So here I'm down on the Achilles and going all the way up, my calf. And you can do this for as long as you want. I'm teaching this more as a demonstration. So feel free to go ahead and do the full 2 to 5 minutes. Now I'm gonna prep the foot. We're gonna do the dorsal surface first. Again, you wanna keep this light. We have not a lot of tissue and a lot of bones, so you don't wanna pop any blood vessels in the foot. So again, light and brisk. You can get right into that ankle. I like to go around all the bones. Be thorough. And then we're just gonna hit the plantar surface of the foot, which is the bottom side. Again, with light and brisk. So what you should see is that we have a lot of blood flowing and the tissue is ready to accept a little bit deeper work. So I'm going to use the mini one, and we're just going to repeat those areas. We're working on the anterior tibialis here. I'm applying a little more pressure so that I can get into the muscle layer, coming all the way around. As you can tell, I'm really lubed. That's why I'm slipping. And that's what you want, because you want the fascia blaster to glide over the skin very, very easily. That's the difference in doing deep fascial work and surface fascial work, because this is surface fascial work and it needs to be super slippery for that. And again, it's just all the way around. Now, if you come across something that feels lumpy or bumpy, then you can just give it a little more speed and start to work that out. And if you come across something that has what we call like a chunk, where there might be an adhesion to the muscle, you can actually use it as a massager. Okay, and we're gonna do the same thing on the foot. I go extra light with the bigger claws, kind of sticking them down between the toes here, and then we'll quickly hit the plantar surface. So this opens up the fascia. Now, what we like to do is go back and make sure that we can actually separate the lines of fascia. So one of the key places in our lower leg is between the shin and the anterior tibialis. So we do what we call the poke and wiggle wiggle technique. You can use the nugget, the mini one, or the mini two to do this. And what you're gonna do is just start right south of the knee and right to the side, the outside of the shin, and you're gonna go ahead and poke and wiggle wiggle. And we're gonna do this all the way down to create kind of a little dented stripe all the way down. This is super important because if the fascia is so tight, it will literally drag this muscle up and over your shin. And that can cause a lot of pain because this whole lower compartment is basically being choked out. So with the poke and wiggle wiggle technique, I'm showing you a fascial line. But you can also use the poke and wiggle wiggle technique to open any of the tissue. Okay? So, I don't want you to feel limited to this particular area. That's just a great way to get us going. But anywhere on your lower leg, you can use the poke and wiggle wiggle technique. For instance, going right into the ankle, right into the talus joint is a great idea. You can also come around the sides of your ankle bones. And I'm also a huge fan of taking anywhere where the muscles are extremely tight, and people tend to be super tight in the peroneals as well as the anterior tib. You can go right into the muscle and do the poke and wiggle wiggle and incorporate it with what we call the golf ball technique, because, so say I wanted to get this entire area here, I just turn it into a golf ball with this poke and wiggle wiggle. You would be shocked how well this technique works. It's really, really good for any type of stubborn knot. So see how I turn that part into a golf ball? And then once we're through treating the area, you just simply want to go back with the big claws, or you can use the Fascial Master Blaster. And then you can flush it with your hands as well. So once the tissue is thoroughly prepped and you've treated from the knee to the ankle, then we can really go back in and get a little bit deeper and more effective on the ankle and the foot. So I absolutely love the small claws for this. You literally think about each one of your toes as an individual piece, and you let the claws straddle that part of the foot. So we're gonna do the big toe, and I'm just telling you, you're gonna love me after you finish this. So this claw right here is actually going down between the toe, and then these claws are straddling it. And you go all the way out to the nail, and then you come back up all the way to the ankle. We've got 5 toes, so we gotta give all 5 toes a little love. And we've gotta give them love on the dorsal surface as well as the plantar surface. So this may take a little longer than the instructional video, so feel free just to take your time and enjoy this part of it. And as you can see, I'm moving on. I'm on to the ring toe. And then we're gonna go all the way over to that little piggy toe. And I really love to go all the way down the side, from the tip of the toe all the way to the heel. Then it's a great idea to go a little deeper and 360 these ankle bones. This is where we have a lot of issue. Remember, the fascial lines come all the way from the head in some cases down to the feet. And then let's not forget the Achilles tendon. Great, just straddle. If you have a thicker Achilles tendon, which sometimes we do, we can have accumulation of fascia, you can switch back over at any point and use the bigger claws of your Mini 1, Mini 2, or the original Fascial Blaster. Okay, here is where it gets good. We're gonna go ahead and take the nugget and do a poke and wiggle wiggle between every single toe on the top. And you're probably wondering, well, wait, there's bones there. That's okay. There's a little bit of muscle and there's a little bit of fascia on top, and you just go right in. Okay, so you're gonna do that with all 5 toes, just striping in between each of them, okay? You can also, any place that you're experiencing any type of discomfort in the ankle, wherever you feel it, poke and wiggle wiggle.